Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Great to have you here this morning once again. All right. Just waiting for more people to join. All right. Good morning, Ms. Tife. How are you doing today? All right, guys. So, welcome to the 10 Sign Morning Show. Welcome to where we discuss everything about raising genius kids. My name is Chris, and I am your host. And today we'll be talking about why your child cannot sit still and what it really means. Okay, this is something that I've heard multiple times. I've heard a gazillion times. In fact, if I had $1 for every time a parent came to me to say, "Oh, Chris, my child cannot sit still," this, that, I will probably be a millionaire in dollars right now. If I had $1 for every single time I heard that, either in my comments or in my posts or in my DMs, if I had $1 for every single time that was said to me, I'll definitely be a millionaire in dollars right now. Okay, and so that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Let's even see what is going on. Let's see why this happens. So think about this with me. Okay, so your child is at the dinner table, and within 5 minutes, they are fidgeting, they are moving around, they are tapping their foot, they are getting up to walk, they are sitting back down, up again. They can't just sit still for a meal. And at school, they are constantly, their teacher reports that they are constantly moving, that they can't focus, and they get in trouble for being out of their seats, and the school suggests, oh, maybe they need to be assessed for ADHD or hyperactivity. And then all of a sudden, you start to believe that your child just cannot sit still. You start to believe that your child just can't sit still, that there's something wrong with their wiring, that they are broken in some way. But what if that's not what is happening? What if that's not what is happening? What if your child's body is actually trying to tell you something important? Right? What if your child's body is trying to tell you something? Now, let me talk about the difference between a child with clinical hyperactivity and a child who needs movement to function. Right? I hope you guys can see me. Can you hear me? All right. So here's something about the brain that most parents don't know. The thing is that some children's brains actually work better when they are moving. So movement provides sensory input that helps their brain to focus. There's a reason why the Montessori approach works. There's a reason why it works. So think about it. When you want to think about something that is really disturbing you, or you want your brain to work at at some level, you pace around when you are thinking about it. Sometimes when you're having a conversation that requires you to think, they literally tell you think on your feet. Right? Have you heard of the statement think on your feet? Why? Because sometimes you have to be on your feet for your brain to start working the way it's supposed to work. Some people bounce their leg, maybe like they are trying to remember you are writing an exam and you're doing your leg. Your leg is, you are fidgeting, you are kicking the leg against the ground because you are trying to think. Some people need to walk while they talk on the phone. We all have and different sensory and movement needs. And so, like, the way that we understand things, the way that we process information, they're all very different. Now, for some kids, sitting still is actually working against their brain, right? It's working against their brain. So they have a harder time thinking because they're not getting the sensory inputs that they need to activate focus. So they fidget and they move because their nervous system is trying to self-regulate. So when you force a child like that to sit completely still, you are actually making it harder for them to focus, not easier. It might look that, oh, okay, they are able to sit down now, but no, not really. Right? Let me also say this: parents expect way too much from attention spans. I always hear this: oh, my child cannot focus, my child can't pay attention. If you pull out what is the average attention span, what is the average attention span for a child, right? You'll be able to see that, oh, sometimes you'll be able to see that sometimes it doesn't, it's not the way it's supposed to be, right? You might think, oh, my child. I mean, some of you expect a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old to be focused for 30 minutes. Come on now. A 6-year-old can reasonably focus on one task for about 6 to 8 minutes. That's their threshold. That's their threshold. That's how long a 6-year-old can focus on per time. For about 6 to 8 minutes. A 9-year-old can maybe do up to 10 to 12 minutes. A teenager can do up to maybe 15 to 20 minutes. These are normal limits, not failures. They are not problems. That 6-year-old now, averagely, is around 6 to 8 minutes. However, like for a child that is doing above and beyond, you are looking at maybe 12 to 18 minutes max per time. And then for a 10-year-old, you can get out 20 to 30 minutes out of them, like depending on how interesting the session is. So these are normal limits, not failures, not problems. They are normal, and these are continuous focus time, not the amount of time they are sitting in a classroom. So they might be sitting for an hour, but actively focusing for maybe 15 or 20 minutes of that, and the rest of the time they are doing other things. So if you are sitting your 7-year-old down and expecting them to focus on homework for 45 minutes straight or for 1 hour straight, you are expecting something that's developmentally impossible. So that fidgeting that you are seeing is normal. Okay? They're not broken. They have just reached the limit of their actual attention span and they need to get out of there ASAP. They need to get out of there ASAP. So here's what I've seen that actually works. What I've seen that actually works is very simple. Integrate movement before focused work. Integrate movement before focused work. If your child needs to focus on homework, then give them 15 minutes of physical activity first. Let's say, for example, yesterday I taught you guys about how to set up your structure. So in that moment, when after your child has decompressed, after they've spoken to you, you see that before rest even, we give them time to walk around, or you walk around the house, or one thing or the other. What you are doing is that you are kicking off those movements that relax those nerves of the brain that depend on it. So running around, whatever, jumping, whatever gets their body moving, this provides their sensory input and burns off some of that energy. So it's after movement, then you now have rest. Then their brain is actually now more capable of focus. So the movement is not a distraction from focusing, it is preparation for focusing. I mean, 15 minutes of 50% of children basically do better when they have at least 15 minutes of physical activity before study. Right? They do better with focus. And heck, Do you know that you sleep better when you are tired than when you are stressed? You sleep better when you are physically exhausted. So when you exhaust, when you get your energy going and then you crash, you're able to sleep deeper than usual. That's the science. So most people try to force stillness for 45 minutes. Whereas what you should do is to do a little bit of movement, then focused work. And there's a system called Pomodoro where you can now repeat this same system over and over again. So what you now do with Pomodoro is 15 minutes, let's say for example, you do 5 minute breaks and 15 minutes of studies. Then you do another 5 minutes of breaks, then another 15 minutes of studies, then another 5 minutes of breaks, then another 15 minutes. Instead of trying to get your child to focus for 5 minutes straight up, you break it into chunks of 15 minutes with 5 minute blocks. What it does is that it gives your child, it resets that, it recalibrates your child again. It recalibrates them and it gets them to, we call this active distraction. So you now remove those distractions that normally would have caused a stir in what you're trying to achieve. This is quite important because of course you know that without focus your child cannot they can't do a lot. You know, let me tell you guys a real story. A real story. So a child came to me, you know, age 8. Their parents were convinced that there was something wrong with him. He couldn't steal. He was always moving. He had been labeled as potentially hyperactive by the school. When we assessed him, I realized that nothing was clinically off. He was just a child who had a lot of energy, who had a lot of high energy sensory needs. And also the parents didn't also understand, you know, the fact that the child can be a kinesthetic learner. And so what we did was very simple. We took everything that he was supposed to learn and we turned it into action. We turned it into like stuff that is an activity. And I also suggested the parents to give him, even when they had to do with, you know, work that wasn't physical, they should just make sure that they give him 15 minutes of physical play before any studies. Just 15 minutes of like running, jumping, whatever. And so they did that. And immediately they did that, immediately the boy was decompressing from the studies. Boom. Once you put him in there to do his homework, he's able to sit down there for at least 20 minutes. This was a boy that couldn't sit still for like 5 minutes. But because we've already front-loaded that effort, we front-loaded that energy, we're able to get that out of him. We're able to get him to now focus and give us 20-30 minutes. The same child, same homework. All we just changed was the different amount of movement before the task. And by the end of the month, the teacher even commented that his focus in class seemed better. Because, I mean, I think the parents also went to them and told them, and they started incorporating those movement breaks as well. And so it started working. So tell me in the comments, does your child struggle to sit still? Does your child struggle to sit still? I want you to go home, or rather, you're most of you at home right now. So you want to actually try to incorporate this movement break before you say your child to do anything. Before you say, oh, let's do X, give them that movement break. Let them move around. Let them play. Let them give, but time it. And then now, immediately after that, boom, get to work. And you're going to see a sharper increase in how much is the focus. Okay? So I hope that this helps you. So thank you for so much. If you have any questions, just drop it in the chat. If this helped you, if you love tips like this, if you love to get tips like this, then make sure that you share this stream with one of your loved ones. Typically, we don't waste time here. We're like 15-20 minutes and we are done. But you leave with one actionable step, one singular action that you can take that will help you help your child. And I hope that this was it for you. Thank you so much for showing up today. Go ahead and try this now that the schools are started or is about to start for those that are not started from. Right? You want to go ahead and implement that and see how that works for you. As always, We are here to help. Okay? So make sure you share this room. Tell a parent today about 10 cycles. Tell the parent today about, in fact, drag one parent. I want to send the link, send it to them, tell them to join. All right. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about something that many of you are victims of, even me sometimes, which is to stop yelling and start structuring. We yell a lot. Hey, we yell a lot. And so tomorrow we're going to talk about how you can stop yelling and start structuring. Remember, same time, same place, same station. Don't miss it. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your morning.